There's no date. We almost had a date. Well, we had 2 dates, but we were doing Braxton Family Values, and we were going through a little drama, and I was like, okay, the wedding is a good thing to get all of our sisters together. Yeah. But I couldn't get us all together, and I said, the wedding's not a good reason because it's messing up my relationship a little bit. He's like, come on, Michelle, set a date. I know.
That's what he calls you?
He calls me Michelle. Doesn't call me Toni at all. That's my middle name, Toni Michelle.
Toni Braxton needs no introduction for most of us since she won 7 Grammy Awards and sold over 67 million records worldwide throughout her career. Unbreak My Heart came from her, and so did Breathe Again, which makes her, without question, the biggest star the Braxton family ever produced. What some people might not remember involves the financial chaos hiding behind all that success. And here's where it gets complicated. Bankruptcy filings came twice for Toni, once in 1998 and again in 2010, because bad record deals nearly destroyed her financially despite her massive sales numbers. Today, her estimated net worth sits around $8 to $12 million, which sounds like a lot until you realize it represents a fraction of what that career should have generated.
But you know, he really was there every day. My buddy, my friend T, you all right? You good? I'm cheering good. You know, he was just there as my friend. Like cheering, I'm cheering good. Big Mama good. He was there every day for the shows. And on my off days, he would go and take care of his business, but he would follow me on the bus and just make sure I was okay. And I don't know if you've ever been really, really sick in your life and you feel kind of hopeless and you got somebody who's a friend that's there. That's kind of, it just made me see him differently.
Tamar Braxton came up as the youngest Braxton sister before becoming the breakout star of Braxton Family Values when the show premiered on WETV in 2011. That personality of hers, loud and dramatic and completely unapologetic, turned her into a fan favorite who parlayed reality fame into a music comeback that earned 3 Grammy nominations in 2014. Celebrity Big Brother crowned her the winner in 2019, making her the first African American to take that title, but her finances tell a rougher story than her sisters. Celebrity Net Worth puts her current net worth at just $1 million, following documented financial troubles that included a Calabasas mansion reportedly sliding into pre-foreclosure.
Toni. I think everybody was shocked when we found out that these two actually got married. I know, like, there's a lot of things we will do in order to pay our bills, but I never thought the relationship between Toni and Birdman was genuine. I just knew that he was just willing to go broke behind her.
And then there's Birdman, born Brian Williams, the man who constructed an empire from scratch. Cash Money Records started in 1991 when Birdman and his brother Slim founded the label, and they transformed it into one of the most dominant forces hip-hop has ever seen. Lil Wayne signed with them, and so did Drake, and so did Nicki Minaj. That historic 1998 deal with Universal brought in $30 million while letting them keep ownership of their masters, and that arrangement still stands as one of the most lucrative label deals in hip-hop history. Estimates put his net worth anywhere from $100 to $150 million. When we talk about the dynamics at play here, we're examining the biggest R&B star of the 90s alongside her reality star, younger sister, and a music mogul worth 9 figures. That triangle sits at the center of everything that follows.
People don't know 2016 November when I was on tour October, I was really sick. I don't mean kind of sick. I mean like really,
from
really
lupus?
sick. You had a really bad flare, and I was on tour. And every day I was on tour, he was there with me. If he left out, he would come back.
And this was before anybody knew you guys.
We weren't anything. It was buddies. It was nothing. Not even a day. He was my friend. And he was there. I don't know if
he already loved you.
He's there every day taking care of you.
Romance between Toni and Birdman didn't exist at first, not even close, because these two knew each other for over 2 decades before anything changed between them. Their connection traces back to 2002 when Toni featured on Birdman's single Baby You Can Do It, and what followed stretched into a quarter-century friendship before romance entered the picture. According to Toni herself, Birdman showed up for major moments throughout her life, attending her baby shower, coming to her Broadway performances, and supporting her through her lupus diagnosis. Her words to Today in October 2025 painted the picture clearly when she explained that he used to attend all her shows and that he came to her baby shower, that kind of thing. What shifted their dynamic from friendship to something deeper happened in 2016, during a period when Toni struggled with her health. Her memory of that time centers on how every day she performed, he showed up, and every night he would check on her to ask if she felt okay and if she needed anything.
It just never fit. And so apparently in August of last year in 2024, they had a secret wedding. Finally got married in secret, even though everything else was public. And then she went and tried to annul the marriage 2 weeks later because she realized she had stuff.
That consistent presence and that level of care changed everything between them. The public reveal came at the BET Awards on June 26, 2016, when they cuddled together wearing matching all-black outfits, and the internet took notice because nobody predicted Toni Braxton and Birdman as a couple. February 2018 brought the engagement, and Birdman went all out with a stunning 10-carat oval canary diamond ring valued at up to $5 million that Toni nicknamed Bonnie. That ring disappeared in November 2018 after Toni left her Louis Vuitton train case on a Delta flight that was never recovered. Their relationship hit turbulence anyway because January 2019 brought a split where both of them wiped their Instagram accounts completely clean and everything looked finished.
And you were with Toni, which kind of felt like some sort of announcement.
I wouldn't look at it as an announcement. Not for me, on my behalf. You know, I just wanted to come. Me and T just went to the Awards, check it out. So what's the big deal?
It is a big deal. You know why it's a big deal? Because it's Birdman and Toni Braxton. And also because we don't see you like in a relationship.
But the Braxtons taught us long ago that nothing between them ever truly ends. Here's where things get wild. Years of on-again, off-again drama preceded what happened on August 8th, 2024, when Toni and Birdman secretly married in a private ceremony. For Birdman, this marked his first marriage ever after 55 years of life and building a $100 million empire without ever walking down the aisle until Toni Braxton changed that. Court documents obtained by TMZ tell a story that sounds nothing like a fairy tale, because according to those papers, the separation came just 2 days later on August 10th, 2024. 2 days after saying, "I do," and that's it. Divorce papers arrived from Toni approximately 2 weeks after the wedding, with language describing the marriage as irretrievably broken. Think about that timeline for a moment, because you marry someone you've known for 25 years, you separate 48 hours later, and you file for divorce within 2 weeks. What happened during those 2 days remains a mystery because nobody discusses it publicly. Here's the twist that nobody expected though. January 2025 brought Toni's dismissal of the divorce petition with Birdman's consent, meaning whatever shattered between them in those first 48 hours of marriage became something they chose to repair. Their first anniversary celebration came in August 2025, with Toni posting a wedding-themed photo on Instagram. Their legal status as of December 2025 shows them still married, though Toni deleted every photo of Birdman from her Instagram since then. Draw your own conclusions from that. October 2025 brought the episode of The Braxtons that set the internet ablaze. What happened during a family dinner filmed for season 2 escalated from argument to physical confrontation between Tawanda and Tamar. When I describe it as getting into it, I mean Tamar swatted water at Tawanda, pulled Trina's hair, and producers had to step in to separate them. Before the physical chaos erupted, Tawanda made an accusation that would reshape the public narrative around this family. The exact words as they aired went like this, with Tawanda stating that Tamar steals men, specifically Toni's, and that she slept with them a few times. Here's the critical detail that most people missed amid all the chaos, and this matters more than anything else. The specific names Tawanda mentioned got censored by production, which means viewers at home never actually heard who she referenced. The audio cut out with bleeps, and the show never confirmed the identity of these alleged men. What happened next sent social media into overdrive. Tamar apparently asked Toni directly about the allegation, with the name once again censored, and Toni completely lost her composure. Her response came out as a demand not to go there. followed by announcing her exit, pushing the table, and leaving the room. That reaction from Toni Braxton, the composed sister, the professional one, shoving furniture and storming out, read to many viewers as confirmation that whoever Towanda referenced mattered deeply. The identity remained hidden, but the intensity spoke volumes. October 24th, 2025 brought the episode's airing, and then less than 24 hours later, on October 25th, Tamar Braxton appeared on stage with Birdman at the Cash Money vs. No Limit Versus at Complex Con in Las Vegas. Toni's absence stood out because she appeared nowhere at the event. Video footage from that night captured Tamar wiping water or sweat from Birdman's forehead using a towel while clutching his arm and dancing behind him during performances, and generally acting very comfortable with her sister's husband. Social media connected everything immediately as the hashtag Towanda was right began trending across platforms. Comments flooded in with fans writing things like how they didn't know what to think about Tamar and how watching the Verzus made them suspect Birdman might be the person referenced in the accusations, and questioning why she would wipe his head and hug him like she's Toni. The timing created a disaster regardless of what actually happened, because you air an episode where your sister accuses you of sleeping with Toni's men, and the next day you show up being cozy with Toni's husband in public. Whether anything romantic occurred between them or not, the optics devastated her reputation. Tamar refused to let the narrative stand and clapped back in real time on X, formerly known as Twitter. Her post explained that she showed up because Toni couldn't be there and loves her husband. So Tamar decided to hold it down for her and for her brother, ending with an incredulous expression of disbelief at the accusations. Her account of events also included claiming that she and Birdman FaceTimed Toni together after the show wrapped to recap everything that happened. According to Tamar's version, Toni gave her blessing for the appearance, and they discussed the whole evening as a family afterward. Getting ahead of this narrative clearly became Tamar's priority because she launched a full press tour to address the speculation. December 16, 2025 brought her appearance on The Sherri Show, where she confronted the rumors head-on, responding to questions about the affair allegation by calling it preposterous and questioning where that rumor even originated. What she presented as the real story followed immediately. Her explanation centered on the fact that she introduced Toni to her husband in the first place, and that she and Brian were friends first in a real platonic way. Her account described how he dated one of her friends a long time ago, and after that relationship ended, she and Brian became really good friends because he and Slim wanted to sign her to Cash Money Records. Tamar's version positions her as the reason Toni and Birdman even got together, since she made the introduction and the connections belonged to her first. A crucial clarification about Towanda's actual target came next, when Tamar stated that the person Towanda really referenced was someone abusive towards her, which explained why the accusation triggered such an intense reaction. This statement clearly implied the accusations had nothing to do with Birdman, and that another person with a darker history prompted the confrontation. Her description of the current relationship came out strong when she called Birdman her brother, who became her brother-in-law, making him her blood now that he married her sister. She emphasized their closeness by describing how she, Toni, and Brian spent entire days on three-way calls together. The Breakfast Club appearance the following day reinforced everything she'd already stated. Her question to the host asked why she wouldn't support her family, since that's her brother-in-law, who she spends holidays with and shares intimate conversations with about her family. Something striking emerges when you examine who hasn't spoken throughout this entire situation. Every accusation, every piece of Verzus drama, and every trending hashtag produced zero public response from Birdman. No evidence exists of any statement from him or his representatives addressing the rumors directly. The man who built Cash Money Records and weathered countless industry beefs and never developed a reputation for staying quiet chose to say absolutely nothing about allegations involving an affair with his wife's sister. His only relevant public comments about Toni came years before any of this during a 2018 interview with Wendy Williams, where he described Toni as his love, his soldier, and his life, saying she represented his everything and that he loved her to death. Toni's silence on the specific Birdman affair allegations matches his approach. Her most relevant comments arrived in a November 2025 interview with Entertainment Tonight following the on-screen explosion with Tamar, where she described her sister as 50 fine and confirmed they plan to hang out all weekend because family falls in and family falls out and they'll always remain family. She also confirmed that dinner with Tamar for her birthday happened after the televised fight, which at minimum suggests a public reconciliation of some kind. Her marriage to Birdman received different treatment in her December 2025 interview with People, where she credited him with transforming her understanding of what true love looks and feels like, while describing him as a grounding force, bringing emotional stability to her life. Understanding this situation fully requires accepting that public feuding basically operates as a Braxton family tradition at this point. 7 seasons of Braxton Family Values aired on WETV between 2011 and 2020, producing somewhere between 147 and 148 episodes of this family broadcasting their drama for cameras. Season 4 represented the peak when the show pulled in 1.5 million total viewers, and this family constructed an entire brand around being messy in public. The show's end came after the sisters refused to film in 2018 over compensation disputes, with Tamar later alleging that WETV betrayed, overworked, and underpaid them. Whatever damage that conflict caused healed enough for them to return eventually. The Braxtons launched on August 9th, 2024 on WETV, with the first season drawing more modest numbers between 163,000 and 257,000 viewers per episode compared to the original show's peak of over 471,000. That still made it WETV's most watched Season 1 original series, while ranking number 2 among Black audiences ages 25 to 54. Season 2, the one containing all this drama, premiered on October 10th, 2025. A family that has professionally aired their business for over a decade stands before us now. The feuds and the reconciliations and the dramatic dinner tables represent their brand, and keeping that context in mind matters when watching these confrontations play out for cameras. The family matriarch Evelyn Braxton, known as Miss E, spoke to Us Weekly in April 2025 about her daughter's conflicts with the confidence of someone who has witnessed this pattern many times before. She expressed knowing them well enough to predict they would resolve it and get it together because they've remained sisters all their lives, even before social media existed, and that's just life. December 2025 brings us to the current state of things, and the picture remains complicated. Tamar's own description of where the family stands centers on them occupying a healthy space now, with everyone having taken accountability for their part, both publicly and privately. Her focus shifted to healing, and if healing means they don't speak every day or only speak occasionally with pleasant and cool conversations, that works for her. What she wants to avoid involves constant communication filled with chaos and negativity. That perspective sounds mature, but actions and words don't always align in this family. March 17th, 2025 brought Tamar's 48th birthday, and when Toni tried posting a birthday tribute on Instagram, she discovered that Tamar had blocked her. Toni's public post expressed wanting to repost a gorgeous picture of Tamar, but being blocked again, followed by birthday wishes anyway. Tamar's response arrived quickly, suggesting Toni could have simply called instead, adding the hashtag gaslighting. That word, again, carries weight because blocked again indicates this pattern repeated before. These sisters demonstrate a cycle of public warmth, followed by private conflict, followed by social media blocks, followed by reconciliation, followed by more drama. Breaking this down clearly matters because separating verified facts from speculation requires careful attention. Confirmation exists for these specific things. Towanda accused Tamar of involvement with Toni's ex-partners on television during the episode that aired October 24th, 2025. Producers censored the specific names Towanda mentioned. meaning we lack confirmation of who she referenced. Tamar appeared at the Verzoos on October 25th, 2025, wiping Birdman's head and displaying physical affection toward him. Tamar claims responsibility for introducing Toni to Birdman initially. Toni and Birdman remain legally married as of December 2025. Divorce papers filed by Toni arrived 2 weeks after their wedding, before she later dismissed the petition. Categorical denial of any romantic involvement with Birdman came from Tamar publicly. Public reconciliation between the sisters occurred following the televised confrontation. Speculation and unverified claims include the following. Whether Birdman specifically represented the person Towanda referenced remains unknown because the name got censored. Evidence confirming Tamar's romantic involvement with any of Toni's partners does not exist. The exact circumstances that caused Toni and Birdman's 2-day separation after their wedding remain unexplained publicly. What actually happened here comes down to connecting the available evidence. Based on everything covered, the alleged Tamar Birdman affair appears to originate from fan-generated speculation rather than verified fact. People drew lines between Towanda's censored accusations and Tamar's poorly timed Verzoos appearance before running with conclusions that treated theory as truth. Hashtags trended across social media, blogs picked up the story, and speculation transformed into accepted narrative. Concrete evidence supporting a romantic relationship between Tamar and Birdman doesn't exist in the form of texts or videos or witness testimony or anything tangible. Tamar's denial sits on the public record, with her claims of introducing them and describing their bond as family, and mentioning those three-way calls between herself, Toni, and Brian. Toni avoided addressing the specific allegation directly, while Birdman maintained complete silence throughout everything. What certainty exists involves these sisters following a decades-long pattern of public feuds and reconciliations, with their reality show depending on exactly this kind of drama, since that's the entire reason it exists. Whoever Towanda actually named during that dinner confrontation remains information only the family possesses. Toni and Birdman's relationship continues despite what appears to be a rocky beginning to their marriage. And those 2 days after the wedding, followed by that divorce filing that got dismissed, contains a story nobody tells publicly. Tamar and Toni's sisterly bond occupies what Tamar called a healing phase, with dinner dates for birthdays occurring alongside Instagram blocks and lingering tension. The wound hasn't fully healed yet. Maybe complete healing never arrives for them, and maybe this pattern defines who the Braxtons are. They love intensely and fight intensely and reconcile before starting the cycle again. Whether Tamar actually went behind Toni's back with Birdman remains a question without concrete answers based on available evidence, and speculation appears more likely than fact. The timing created problems and the optics created worse problems, but the evidence supporting the affair simply isn't there. That covers the story as we understand it, and what you think really happened deserves space in the comments below.